I'm Josie Smith, and here at Ayr Racecourse I'm delighted to be joined by champion jockey AP McCoy. How are you today?
Good, thank you. Yeah, a little bit cold, but pretty good. I had a couple of winners, so that's the most important thing.
Take us back to the early days of your career at AP. Whereabouts did you start?
Well, I'm from the north of Ireland originally, and my dad had an interest in horses. Had never ridden himself, or none of my family have, but he had an interest. He bred a few horses, one of them won at the Cheltenham Festival. And because there was a horse or two around the house and that, I decided that I'd like to have a go, and it started from there, you know. So from a very early age I had an interest in horses, and had an interest in wanting to ride them, and like everyone I was lucky enough to get a pony and done a little bit of show jumping, a little bit of gymkhanas and things like that. And then as I got older, my dad was friendly with a racehorse trainer at the time, and from I was about 11 or 12, then I started to go down to his place at the weekends, and ended up riding a few of the quieter racehorses you like. And you could say the speed thing sort of got the better of me, and the gymkhanas and the ponies went out the window, and that's pretty much how I ended up being a jockey. But I started off like all kids, you know, do or should really on ponies, and try and learn the right way. You know, you've got to do it gradually, and I was lucky at a pretty good education. So.
Do you think your early education of show jumping and gymkhanas aided you when it came to hitting the racecourse?
Yeah, I think so. You know, you've all got to start. Everyone's got to start somewhere, and you know, one or two of the ponies I had weren't actually that quiet, so it probably helped me in latter years. But you know, it is. You know, the younger you can start, the better. Obviously, the easier it is to learn, and the more you pick up, you learn more when you're younger. Obviously, and it's easier. It's easier to remember things. So yeah, I think it definitely helped me. And as I said, I was. It helps with your education of horses, and the more the more you do when you're younger, then I think it benefits you in later years.
And what are the biggest changes you've seen in racing throughout your career?
Racing has become a very professional sport. You know, you know, obviously the training of a racehorse is much different now, but also the jockeys, I feel, since I started riding evening, there's a much more professional, you know, they're more professional sportsmen, if you like. You know, we're much fitter, I think, than they've ever been. We've got physios, we've got dietitians, we've got all the aids that you'd want, and no excuse for you not to be riding winners, really. So you know, so I think from that perspective of how it's changed, I think like everything in life, things progress and things get better and things improve, and certainly from a jockey's point of view, the facilities have improved, the help that a jockey can get for wherever it may be is there for everyone. So I say there's no excuse, really. You know, they're all the aids are there, so no excuses. And
who have been your favourite rides over the years? Do you get attached to the horses that you work with?
Yeah, you do. Obviously, you get attached to them. You know, horses are very much like people. Some have much nicer attitudes and much nicer personalities than others, and some try harder, and some are obviously good, and some are not so good. But you get attached to horses. They do have a personality, and it's not always the best horses you get attached to. I mean, obviously, it's easier to get attached to the really good ones, but there are certain horses that you can go out and you ride. And you know, we had a horse in John Joe's for years called Milo, and you know, you know, my daughter's 5, and you could have put my daughter on him. You know, he was that quiet, but it was a real likeable little horse. He won a few races. You know, it was quite hard to get the better of him mentally, but you could get him to win. So you know, they don't have to be the best horses for you to like them. You know, and again, as I said, there are, you know, they're like people. You know, you don't like them all. You like some of them. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Some of them have a will to win, and someone would rather stay in the stable or stay in, you know, would have no interest in winning. So so you got to treat them all as individuals, pretty much like humans. You know, they earn your trust, if you like.
And what advice would you give to young jockeys that are starting out now?
You know, you got to look at the people who, you know, whether they be show jumpers or whether they be racing jockeys or whatever, or event riders or whatever. You got to look at how the top people perform. You know, you got to, you know, even at a very young age, you got to watch how the best do it, really, and try and pick little little bits off them, and be yourself. You know, there's that famous saying, you've got to be yourself because everyone else is taken. So, you know, you gotta be yourself, and you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe you can do it. You know, you got to believe that you're good enough to. You know, if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is going to. But you don't get anything unless you work hard. You know, no matter how much ability you have or how much talent you have, you got to work hard.
And who do you think's helped you most in your career? Is there anyone that's been a mentor to you throughout your time in racing?
Not so much. I was lucky from a very young age. I always was lucky enough to work with very good people, and I kind of picked up little pieces from them all, and had good mentors from the day I started riding. So, but you know, when I started riding, Richard Dunwoody was champion jockey, and you know, in my eyes, he was the best jockey, and I wanted to beat him. You know, and that was, you know, that was my dream. You know, I wanted, you know, he was the one I looked up to because he was, you know, he was better. He'd won more races than everyone else, and he was the one that I wanted to try and beat. So.
And then lastly, how do you find coming down to race here at Ayr?
It's very nice. Obviously, it's not that local from me living in Wiltshire or Berkshire, so it's not that local. But it's nice when you get here. It's a very friendly racecourse, friendly people, and but it's like everywhere. It's much more enjoyable when you win. And I'm lucky enough I won a couple of races today, so I'm happy.
Congratulations, and thank you so much for talking to us at Scottish Equestrian TV. AP McCoy.